Hello, everyone, and welcome to our unknown game again. I forgot to name it. My bad.
Again.
Yes. Um. So, starting out on this one, you guys are traveling. So let's bring up the map. Okay. I just stick the thing. So, you guys are about here on this little sticking out portion. And you're headed toward this way. I should mark it on the map, I guess, but whatever. The volcano, and I still haven't marked that city either. The volcano is pretty large opening, about from this side of this word to the this side of the O is the opening of the volcano, and it's relatively perfectly circular.
That's pretty big diameter.
Yes. So it goes up pretty high. You'd say several hundred feet up. At least from where you are. So, because you're about at sea level over here. So it's at least several hundred feet up from where you currently are. So you can see it in the distance. And the rest of the ground is pretty barren. So it's sort of going up, going down, and then once it hits the volcano, it just sort of goes relatively straight up, but you're quite far away, so you can't even see if there's paths on it or not. But you're assuming there are, because otherwise people wouldn't be able to get up it. So, you guys are traveling. Ironhead is currently leading the troops, and they're not as fast as the lycanthropes. So do the lycanthropes sort of keep pace with them, or do they attempt to rush ahead and search for any?
Well,
That's
I think
you.
yeah, I know. And since I'm no leader, but I think we can scout ahead a bit, but not too far. Like if something were to happen, then we at least have backup close by.
Okay. Sorry, I'm eating an apple.
No problem.
So, if you want them close enough by, I'll say 100, 200 feet.
Yeah,
Ahead.
it seems reasonable.
All right. So you're about 200 feet ahead of him, I'll say.
Yeah.
So you guys searching?
We're keeping an eye out. We're at least trying to forge a bit, I guess.
Okay.
Since I'm no leader again.
Okay, so I'll say that you guys travel about half a day. Get to about here. I'll say roll perception checks. So 2 perception checks from both of you.
Okay, here goes nothing. 17.
What do I see on the second watch?
Alright. Let's see.
Oh, God.
What do we see on the
Serious?
second watch?
You both see
We were
nothing on
blinded by the
watch.
glare of the volcano.
Pretty much. So with a 17, you can see clear giant tracks that appear to be heading towards the mountain, that are relatively fresh, which you already knew. Because you're walking relatively where it was going, and yeah, it's pretty big feet. Let's see. Anything else? You see, on your first watch, you also see, or your first look out on these two sets of perceptions. You see, what look like very, very small paw prints.
Very small what?
Paw prints.
Paw prints. Oh, paw prints. Okay.
You can examine them if you wish, but you see them with the perception.
Of 6.
Well, on 17. On the 17 one, you saw them.
Well, I guess if they're in the giant feet, I must suspect that they're older. No, not older. Younger than the giant feet track marks. So there could be something close by. So investigate, I guess.
Alright, you look closer.
16.
Alright, with a 16, they're definitely animal tracks of some sort. You can't identify the specific species with an investigation, but you can identify that the creature seems to be, like, based on distance apart of the feet, stuff like that, of the tracks. It appears like it was running, based on, like, the stretch marks and everything, like when, like, it sort of elongated the tracks a little bit. So you could tell it was running. You can tell, let's see, that it is, let's see, does it not say? Should say, there it is. It appears to be a medium-sized creature, and it has, let's see, has 3 claws on the front of its paws that dig into the ground as it's running. So it's non-retractable claws. That's all that you get from the investigation. But if you want to identify species, you'd have to roll nature.
Ooh, let's see if my luck will run out. It didn't.
Alright. So, from that, if you remember, this was 2 weeks ago about, so, I'll forgive you if you don't remember.
We have rats, we have bears,
while
we have
you
wolves.
were, yeah, while you were walking towards the little valley where the mining area was, that the lycanthropes were hiding in, you saw a dog-like creature that had red hair. It looked almost like it suffered from severe burns.
Yes, now I recall that.
And the dog had a red tuft of hair behind its head.
Yeah.
And it ran away from you as soon as it saw you. It's probably this species. They call them flaming dogs.
Yeah.
Fairly simple name. But they live on the Blazing Mound. And they tend not to be dangerous unless if they're in a pack. And they usually only form packs when they're mating.
Do I see any tracks close by, or?
I'll say with that investigation, since you noticed the other ones, I'll say that with that, you notice that there is a set of, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, that aren't in the tracks. 10 of them that aren't in the tracks.
That's back. So, of course, tell the others that there is a pack roaming around somewhere around here.
The black dragonborn, who is currently in his tiger form, He says, "Good. Provide us some food for back home." So he starts looking around to see if he can track them at all. I can roll a survival for him. If you want to roll a survival, you can to try to track them.
Well, sure, I can give it a shot.
I'll assume we haven't heard about it yet because we're far
Yeah,
behind.
you're a bit further back. Though you do see them stop, and you see them looking at the ground in an obvious fashion. So
Yeah.
you can attempt to go towards them. Whoops, that's not what I meant to do. Yeah, I'm supposed to put modifiers on it.
There's
So-
that then
Yeah,
space plus space number.
Yeah, you have advantage on this one, which it wouldn't have mattered anyway, since you can use your sense of smell to attempt to track them. So, and your sense of hearing as well. And he has advantage on this.
No, I had advantage on perception rolls. It says.
Oh, yes,
Actually.
you do have advantage on perception as well.
So that's a 22 that I rolled. Hooray!
Yeah, you would have gotten that anyway.
Yeah.
If it wasn't a natural, you would have gotten what I gave you anyway. He got a natural 20 on his survival check.
The second roll, to be exact. Oh wait, that's I see.
Yeah, he got. I accidentally rolled a d20. So it's the third one down that I'm talking about. So.
Wait, third one. So,
yeah, I rolled
but what's
a d20.
the second one then?
The second one would be the 25 that I rolled.
Yeah, that.
And the first one was the one I rolled by accident, which is a 9.
Okay.
Okay, just so you're aware. He looks around and he goes, and he breathes in deeply, and he says, "To thee," and I'll bring up, so that way you can have a look what I'm going to show you. Map. Hide. Okay. So you guys are headed this way, so you're about here. And he's saying that the pack traveled directly north after these tracks, which are apparently headed northwest. He says he can smell a huge pack of them.
How big is huge? Like 15, 20, 25?
I can't say for sure, but I can tell that they're staying in the same spot. You might not want to know how, but
I have pretty good suggestion, like smell, cause I know how hunting works.
basically there's a lot of shit up there.
Yeah, I guess as much.
Yeah,
Not
it
big
smells
surprise
pretty
for me.
strong. And he sort of motions towards where he's getting the scent from, and you can smell something that stinks to the high heavens. You couldn't specifically identify it, but it's there.
Yeah. So I don't think it's smart we would hunt, cause there might be a very big flock, and be in trouble if we go hunt them and then we have big flock on our case. That's not good.
Well, I guess we can keep it in mind that their mating ground is around here. It'd be useful later.
Yeah. That's good idea.
So he circles. I wish I had like a thing that I could show you on screen share. I should get a program for that, so that way I can like circle areas and stuff on the map. I'll look into that later. But anyway, he circles an area that's just north of where you guys are, which is about 3. No, not 3. Maybe
You should be
5
able to click
miles.
the edit in the
Yeah,
top.
about 5 miles up from north from where you guys are currently.
Matt, you should be able to click edit in the top right. And just don't save it after.
Oh, I can do that. Okay, let's see. So this might take a second. Color. No.
Oh, I don't think these are these kind of fixes. I mean, that.
Yeah, it doesn't have that kind of stuff.
Oh,
So I'll look into it later.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just right up there. So
Yeah.
you can mark it on your map if you want to. That you have. I sent you a map, correct?
Yeah, you did.
You can mark it if you wish.
Already ahead of you.
Okay. So yeah. So you continue, I guess.
We do.
All right. So you're keeping aware that there's a nesting ground up there, or mating ground, or whatever you want to call it.
Nesting, mating, nesting. Whatever sounds best.
Yeah. So you're continuing. You have to make camp. You know that everybody else, based on the plan that you were making before, you're going to make camp at when it starts to get dark, and you know that within like an hour or two, it is going to get dark, and you'll be relatively close to this mating ground still.
Well, we don't know about that, so we'll just keep walking and look for somewhere.
I head over to his group and inform him about the problem we might be having.
What do you say?
I tell him like, you know what we saw when we went for mine? For the mine?
A bunch of rats?
No, the tufts of fluff. The red fluff.
Fluff?
Yes, the dog things.
I can't remember seeing any dogs. What about them?
Well, there is very big ground where they do the doo-doo.
The doo-doo? I look at them questioningly.
They fuck.
Okay, so what is the problem then?
There are many of them there.
Many?
Very many.
Well, I still don't see the issue.
It's getting dark soon.
And we'll look for a secure location to put up camp. I've been looking.
Yeah, but they're like...
I'll give you, since you made the nature check earlier, the reason that this might be a problem is they're usually skittish if they're by themselves, which they usually are. But since there's a mating ground nearby, they tend to get really defensive of the mating ground because puppies and whatnot. Yeah. So they tend to get very defensive in the surrounding area. So they might attack, which is why it's a problem.
You understand now?
I do. I still don't see why we should be worried about a couple of dogs.
Might not be couple, might be 50.
50?
We don't know exact numbers, but there is a lot of shit there. So we So we think very many.
Let's just go look for some defensive ground.
That's smart idea.
Alright. So you run back to the other group, tell them basically what happened. And you start looking for a more defensive area. Make an investigation check.
Okay, let me just grab it. Boop.
Alright.
15.
15. Okay, so let's see. So, you begin searching, and there's a hill relatively close by that's sort of small. Seems like perhaps you might guess. You don't have proof, of course, but that maybe like some sort of shifting of the earth happened here, and a little mound was formed here. And it's just about the circle around it. The base of it is about 100 feet around, so it's not that big, but it might be a better spot to stay than just out in the flat fields.
So point it out to my group, then I run back to Ironhead's group and point it out to him. And tell them about it.
Fair enough.
That seems as fine place as any. We'll start to set up camp then.
So you'd actually be able to see at least a little distance away. So
Yeah.
you start setting up the camp.
Well, I will.
The soldiers have a few tents that they can set up, but the lycanthropes don't have anything with them. They just are okay with sleeping on the ground.
Well, I can forge a few things to make it at least a bit more comfortable.
Alright. So the soldiers set up their tents in the exact middle of the mound.
Yeah.
Which is smart.
And they go inside, and
I do too.
They go right to sleep. So, anybody keeping watch?
I do for the first watch.
Okay. So how many watches do you want to set up? According to my rules, at least, I don't know if every DM does this or not, but you can be active for 4 hours during your long rest, and it doesn't gain you a penalty.
Well,
basically, you can be awake, not sleeping, during those 4 hours.
Well, I first want to spend 2 hours.
Okay.
Then somewhere in the middle 2 hours.
Okay. Fair enough. So make one perception check first.
That's 20.
All right. Yeah, and since you are using scent to see if you can detect enemies, I'm fine with that. So, okay. So, you hear in the distance, like, and you smell, dog smell. Getting closer.
I notch an arrow onto my bow and follow the sound.
Alright. It's relatively far away at the moment, 200
Say
feet.
it.
200 feet.
I can shoot that.
You can attempt to, though it is very dark. Do you have dark vision?
No.
So you don't even have that aid.
But I do have sharpshooter, which gives me no disadvantage at how far away they are, as long. Yeah, how far doesn't even matter how far they are if they have half or 3/4 cover.
But you can't see them. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the
So
only problem.
you still have disadvantage to hit them.
You'll have
can't
to
see
aim with
them.
your nose.
And ears.
Yeah. So it's still at disadvantage because you can't see them, which is one of the basic senses that you rely on. You're still not really trained to be able to hit something based on your newfound hearing abilities. So I'll say that it's still at
I'm
disadvantage.
just following it to see where it's going.
Okay. It starts coming relatively close to the camp, about 200 feet, as I said. Then it
If it's
stops, and it sounded like two sets of feet running. And it stops, and then you hear, and then it turns around and starts going the opposite direction.
relax my bow and sit back down.
So you heard snarling, and then it ran away. Both of them.
Yeah, is there anyone watching with me currently?
There are some lycanthropes just sort of lazing about, but other than
Well,
that,
I
not really.
informed them that I did hear the dogs and hear them growl and then run away.
All right.
So that they need to be on
Let me
a
see.
bit of a more higher alert to be sure that they don't get ambushed.
One of the boars, as soon as you say that, perks up and turns towards where you're pointing, and he takes off towards that direction.
Go after him. He's not going alone.
All right, so you're going after him.
Yep.
All right, and as a few people start leaving, a couple more start following behind you. So you have, I'll say, 2 rats with you, a boar, and a bear with you. And they start running. And then one of the bear comes up to you and says, "What's going on?" He was asleep at the time.
I heard some of the dogs. I heard growl and then run away, but the boar just went that way. I don't know why.
He's probably hungry, like the rest of us. And he continues running after him, trying to catch up to him. So after about 15 minutes, you get to what looks like a very big mating ground for these things. It dips down a little bit, so it's sort of like a little pit almost. And there's like, let's see, there's like 20 of them in there, and currently, one of them is currently barking at the rest of the group. And this is adults, 20 adults, and there's little ones as well.
Do I see the boar anywhere?
The boar is currently charging down towards them.
Yeah, we need this bad.
And the rest of you are remaining stealthed. I'll say roll a stealth.
17.
Alright, and the other guys have automatic numbers that I'm going to use for this anyway. So, everybody else is remaining stealth, but the boar is sort of...
I'm gonna try and stop him by shooting him in the leg.
Okay, go ahead. Let's see.
Which one do I take?
You take... Since you still technically have disadvantage because it's dark.
So 17.
So let's see. Just gonna look up something real quick. Yes, you do hit him. So you can roll damage if you want.
8.
Okay. We'll keep that in mind. Actually, I should mark that page since I'm going to use it now. There.
Says I just want to knock him down and then grab him and pull him away.
All right.
If that's even possible.
So he's about 50 feet away from you. And I'm saying that you guys are about 300 feet away. Because it dips down and then there's like a large area where the dogs would meet. Right. So, let's see. So he's about 50 feet away. Yeah, you hit him. Let's see. What results would that get? So 8 damage. Oh, I gotta look at the. Let's see. He gets hit in the back of the leg with an arrow, and he goes in a loud boar-like cry, squeal type noise, and the entirety of the nest of dogs just perks up and looks in the direction.
I just are sprinting towards him.
Alright, he's 50 feet away, so in one turn,
I can get
you already
40
used
feet.
an attack. You already used an attack, so
Yeah.
40 feet. So you're still 10 feet away from him. And when it gets to his turn, I'm just gonna give a rough initiative order. I'm not gonna get you to roll or anything, not for the moment at least. He turns to you and he says, "What the hell, man?"
The hell were you thinking? You just run off after them, what? You think you can take them alone?
Oh, I figured everyone else would come with me.
You know how
And
many
as-
are there? But now we have bigger problem because they hear you.
And the dogs are obviously sniffing the air, looking in your direction. Even the one that was angry before is baring his teeth in the direction now. So
Can I try and...
He's just standing there. He's not doing anything. So you can still move and everything.
Can I lift the boar up? Boar up. Boar here.
Yes, you can. Though he is going to try to resist you. So,
We're leaving here. We're not gonna stay because it's not safe here.
Alright. He's still going to resist you because he doesn't really understand that what those things are might have a chance of killing him. So he's still going to try. Let's see. Strength. Okay. So he's going to resist you. You're going to attempt to grapple him, basically. So make your roll.
Wait, that's an athletics, right? Or
yeah, athletics.
22.
He got 22 as well. So basically, how I do this is you both re-roll. So roll again.
21.
He got 10 that time. So you manage to. He sort of seems to resist, and he manages to push you off for like less than a second, which is how I say the tie happens. And you manage to grab onto him with your long clawed fingers in your woven form, and you just pick him up. And he's sort of like, "Come on, man, we need to eat." And he's just sort of struggling against you.
I growl at him to make him shut up. I say, "You mad? There is more than 20 out there. You get yourself killed."
And he's just trying to resist you.
One person.
He's still trying to resist you. So what do you want to do? You still have movement.
I headbutt him to make him realize that he's being stupid or something. Something at least to make him shut up and then trying to run off.
He's struggling against you, but you still have movement. So are you going to run away from the dog?
I'm trying
I
to.
think
Yeah,
he
I'm
has
gonna try
extra
and run
attack,
away from.
so he could do a headbutt.
I'm gonna try and run away from the. Since that isn't really an attack of mine. How do I roll for that? Just
You can. I'll say that you're proficient in it because you're in your animalistic state, so you're just sort of reacting.
So 1d20 plus.
Your proficiency.
Proficiency is 3.
And your
Plus strength
attack.
or
Whatever
dex.
your attack is that you
Okay.
normally would use.
Oh, that's another 3. That brings it to 17.
Alright. So 17. You whap him. And I'll say. Look. You technically have a bite attack, so I'm gonna let you use that for the headbutt.
That's then 1d6. 1d6.
Actually, you have a werewolf bite attack.
Oh.
Did I give you the stats for that?
Yeah, 2 voice, but I didn't get the chance to update it quite yet.
Okay, so your werewolf bite attack is let's see. So it's a 1d8 plus 2.
1d8 plus 2 to damage, right? Only?
Yeah. Yeah. To damage only.
Okay, then. Whoops, then lazy. Up and up. 12. Oh gosh. I don't want to kill him.
You take a bite out of him.
I don't want to kill him. No, at first I headbutt him, of course.
Yes, you're headbutting him. That's right. It says bite, but yes.
He said to use that, so.
Yeah, we just use those stats. That's fine.
Yeah.
So you just headbutt him, and let's see. Just gonna double check the damage you did before. No, he's still conscious.
That's a total of 20.
Yeah. He's fine still, but you headbutt him and he's he lets out another squeal like noise, and the dogs are now hurriedly approaching you.
I'm gonna try and get away while carrying him, like, see what you can do. Stop making him a guy. I'm just cursing it at him in a few languages I know.
Alright, fair enough. He is going to try to resist you, just so that way he can run on his own. But you don't know that, technically.
Yeah.
So he's still going to try to resist you, which is a +3. So you can attempt to hold on to him, or you can let him go. You can choose. If you attempt to hold on to him, you have to roll against him, which is athletics to keep
Yeah, I don't know it actually, so I think he's trying to get away, trying to fight, so.
Okay.
Nope, he escapes.
Alright, so he wiggles out of your grasp in your newfound form. You're not really used to your lanky limbs and everything. So he manages to squirm out, and he just starts bolting the other way.
So.
The way that you guys are going. The opposite way of the dogs.
So, is he going towards the dogs, or...?
No, he's going away from the dogs.
Yeah.
The same as me.
Alright, so he's running in front of you. So this is a chase sequence. Basically, they move as fast as you can. So, unless if you do something, they're going to keep up with you. So what do you want to
do? Again, gonna try and shoot the dogs this time.
Alright, so you're gonna try to shoot one of them? Okay.
No, I'm gonna try, oh wait, I don't have that. That's true. Alright.
You're in your werewolf form, so you have werewolf abilities.
Yeah, I still have my ranger ability still, so spells and such. But yeah, I just noticed that I didn't have that very
in
spell.
your hybrid form, you still have your abilities of your human form, so you can still use them if you wish.
Yeah,
if you have
I just saw I didn't have that spell, so I just have to shoot regularly.
All right, go ahead.
Fire. 28.
Yeah, that hits.
11.
11. Let's see. It is still up, the one that you just hit, but it looks like you hurt it a lot, but the other ones are still coming towards you.
Take another shot.
All right.
24.
24 hits.
9. And a different one, of course.
Yes, that one is also very injured. And the ones that are injured stumble back into a couple of other ones, but there's still like 15 or more of them still coming
After I
at you.
shot, I go running again.
All right.
Trying to keep
anything you want to tell your allies to do?
Like warn the camp, and if possible, aid, please.
All right. So one of the bears roars really loudly. Or the bear that's with you. Technically, you only have one with you.
Yeah.
So Ironhead, I'm gonna get you to roll a perception.
Perception?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright, you're sleeping. You are sleeping. But you hear a bear roar in the distance.
Far away?
Decently far away from the camp.
Do I hear anything else?
Not at the moment, no.
I'll wait a bit.
Okay, fair enough. So,
what could that be?
They are going to attempt to catch up with you. So, let's see.
I'm not getting paid to keep the bears alive.
That's very true.
Ooh, okay. This is gonna be interesting. As they're running towards you, you look back and you see 3 of them suddenly burst into flame, and they are in front of you and are going to attack you. They're in front of you, and like a burst of flame comes up in front of you, and they jump out and try to attack you. Let's see. So +3, which I already have in there. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Alright. So one of them is going to manage to bite onto you. Let's see. So they deal plus. So you take 6 damage as it leaps up and just bites you with canine-like teeth. And it tries to hold on to your arm, but you sort of swat it off and it goes away from you a little bit.
Okay. Well, since you said in a blaze, I must have had a sight on how many there are right now close by.
There's 3 that you have to run through in order to keep running. And you look back and you actually notice that the rest of them also did the same thing. The ones that you injured are still behind you, but the rest of them are currently attacking the rest of your allies.
Okay.
You're also lagging a bit on your voice like a robot. You.
Oh. Me?
Yeah.
Oh. Not knowing what it's doing, that maybe just reloads. So hold on.
Alright. So,
You heard it too, right?
Yes.
Back.
Ah.
Okay. There you go. So, what do you want to do?
Well, since my best weapon is my most trusted friend, fire away! Oh, damn it.
Okay. So which one are you aiming for? One of the ones in front of you or the ones behind you?
One of the ones in front of me.
Okay, so there are 3 that are currently in melee with you. If you were to use a bow to attack them, you would have disadvantage. But there are ones attacking your allies, if you want to attack those.
Well, I at least try to keep them off the boar one to see if... Yeah, off the boar. Because he's injured thanks to me.
Okay. So you attack one of them. Let's see. You just barely hit him with a 13.
Ooh. 8.
Alright. He gets... You hear... as you hit it, and the boar seems thankful, but he rears up for an attack against one of the other ones that's attacking him with his tusks.
So, as the fight going on, would we hear more noise or?
Make another perception check, because that one perception check you made was to see if you heard the roar. So.
And now the yelp. He did hear the yelp.
So now you hear the sounds of fighting, and you hear, and you hear, and boar noises like oinking noises, and it sounds like there's a commotion.
Fine, I'll take my equipment and head out. I'll tell the people they can just stay behind.
Alright. Do you have dark vision?
Yes, I do.
You won't be able to see that far, but you'll be able to see in the dark, which would help you.
I'll head towards the commotion then.
He can see 60 feet in front of him, so he would know where things are going to shit at a certain point.
50 when I dash.
Alright. So you dash out of the tent.
Would I have my
assume that you slept
armor,
in your...
or would I sleep without it?
That's what I was just about to say.
I am a dwarf, so I feel like dwarves could do that, but...
You can't... Anyone can sleep in their armor with no penalty. It's just up to you.
I think Goldrick would have done that, yeah.
Okay. So he's in his armor already, and he just gets up, draws his weapon, and starts running out of the tent. A few of the lycanthropes are a little bit ahead of you that are running towards the commotion.
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens in a second. So,
I still have one attack left.
Yeah, you have one attack. Go ahead.
Hammer time!
Alright, the 19 definitely hits.
There's a 4.
Alright, so you're attacking a different one, I assume.
Yeah, the one in front of me.
Okay, so you smack that guy in front of you, and you hear as it moves a little bit out of your way, and the other 2 are still ready to attack you.
I'm at least trying to intimidate them, which I'm not going to think is going to work.
Well, you can roll an intimidate if you think that should be intimidating enough.
I mean, I'm bigger, I'm scarier, I'm trying to harm them. So
Fair
here
enough.
goes.
Go ahead.
10.
10. Let's see. They have higher than I thought. They are not intimidated by you. They seem more ready to attack you based on what you just did.
Okay. Hooray.
Your turn ends there.
If I try to move, I would be moving out of their range of attack.
Yeah, you can provoke opportunity attacks if you really want to.
Yeah, which I'm not.
Okay. Fair enough. So 2 are going to attack you. I'm not gonna do that. What I just was about to do. So, because that isn't what I wanted to do. So 13 and 7.
Nope.
Alright. So, the two that were behind you teleport in front of you and start attacking other ones.
Wait, can they teleport?
That's what they were just doing. I'm just spicing
That's
it
how
up.
they got in front of you.
Yeah, they went. They turned into fire, and then were in front of you. So they're
Okay.
basically teleporting. So that's how they got in front of you. Let's see. So based on that, you look as a couple of rat guys came with you. They don't look like they're doing too well in the fight.
Uh-oh.
They have like 3 dogs on them each, and they're just sort of getting torn apart, basically.
How's the bear doing?
The bear is holding his own, and so is the boar, at least at the moment.
So I pointed at the bear. You help them!
He roars as a bear would, and then he says, I have my own problems. And you see him, he's got 4 dogs on him currently.
I start detecting those problems for him.
Okay. Yeah,
27.
so just before that, I want to say that Ironhead, you continue to approach. At this point, after you ran a little bit, you see at the edge of your vision, you see. Let's see. Actually, I'll roll to see what you see. Make it
Perception.
interesting. Whoops! Somehow I rolled 2 of them, but I'm going to take the first one for my random roll. You see a half rat, half man dude currently being ripped at by 3 dogs. At the edge of your vision. Yeah. Which is 60 feet. So they're 60 feet away from you. After your double movement.
I'll tell him to come over towards me.
Alright, so you sort of do your dwarvish yell. Come here! And the dogs don't seem distracted at the moment by you.
No, I meant for the rat guy. So
okay, he can't move. He's currently being torn apart.
Yeah.
He has a dog on one arm and a dog on the other arm, and one's pulling his leg, and they're pulling in different directions.
Okay, then I have a better picture. Yeah, I'll just charge towards them.
Okay. So you continue charging, but you'll have to wait till the next round to continue doing that.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
So your turn. The 27 hits for 10. You hear as it gets hit on the side of its neck area, and it sort of stops attacking. You were aiming for the one in front of the bear? One of the ones in front of the bear? Were you? Or were you aiming for one of the ones in front of the rats?
He was aiming on the bear one.
Okay. So, yeah, it gets distracted. And it seems like they're not willing to continue attacking gratuitously when they know that they're easily going to be felled. So the ones that you're hitting, most of them are running away at this point. Except for the ones that you hit originally, they're still attacking. Okay. So, 19 hits for 10 damage. So, same thing. So the bear now currently has 2 attacking him.
I think you muted yourself or something. We can't hear you, Gio.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, I was wondering, but I...
Yeah, I said for one of the rats aimed
Okay,
at
so
one of his arms, that the one is holding his arm so that they can at least grab his dagger or whatever he's having and start stabbing.
Okay, fair enough. So, he gets his arm released, and he actually has a chance to fight back, so hopefully that helped. So...
And I'm surrounded by 4 dogs. Hooray!
Alright, so... okay, so...
I'll be right back as well, so...
Okay. So you have 2 attacks against you, and 22 hits. The 10 does not. And he takes 3 damage.
Yep.
The dog. So you continue approaching. Now you can see as you...
As I get closer, I'll throw 2 axes towards the dogs.
Alright, so I'll say that you move about 30 feet closer. Or however much
25.
closer you need to. Yeah,
I have
25.
speed of 25, so...
Yeah, that's right. I forgot. I'm sorry. So you move 25 feet closer, and you throw the axes. What
How
are the
far away
range
am
on
I?
throwing?
It's 20-40.
20-40?
I think so.
So you move 25. You wouldn't be able to hit them.
Weren't they within my range? So they should be 35.
Within your sight, which is 60.
So now it's 35, so in long range.
Oh, okay. I was right. So you can hit them with disadvantage if you wish.
Of course I wish. I hit the rat or something.
You unfortunately, let's see. I'll make a roll. This will be fun. Oh, he manages to keep his arm intact, at least. So your axe sinks into his shoulder. You almost cut his arm off. But he's still alive, so you can still potentially save him. But the 13 hits.
I'll blame poor craftsmanship. They're not balanced.
He did say that they were shoddily made.
10.
Alright. So 10. Yeah, the dog yelps. And at least his arm that's almost cut off is no longer being dragged upon by a dog. Let's say that. So he has a chance to keep his arm. Don't you feel happy about that? Okay.
I hope the rest are too busy fighting to notice.
Well, he still has an axe in his arm, but we'll see. We'll see. Now it's his turn. So, where is he?
Yeah, he said be right back. I don't know how long. He could make a perception check to see if he sees the axe going into the rat when he comes back.
Sure, he doesn't know, so I'll get him to do that. Something I can talk about while he's gone.
Yeah.
I have 2 PS2s at the moment.
2 PS2s. When one is not enough. Or when you needed a PlayStation 4.
I do have one of those, so I guess that's true. But yeah,
Well, do you have a PS4 as well?
hmm.
Then you have a PS8. Not bad.
And I have a PS3, so
It keeps getting better.
I have a PS11, I guess. But
Well,
yeah,
what do you... Oh,
it was something that was given in the store, and it has no cords to it.
yeah.
So I'm bringing it home to test it, see if it works.
Yeah.
So I'll have something fun to do later, I guess. Try a PS2, see if it works. Basically, we're a thrift store that runs on donations from random people. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that came into the store. So, I have to try it. Because nobody else who works there even knew what it was.
They didn't know what it was.
No.
Well,
Actually, someone who works there called it a Wii.
a Wii. Nice.
Yes.
I see you work with old people.
Mostly, yes. So,
I mean, it's fine. I work with teachers, so
yeah.
most of them are pretty old. But at least the IT teachers knows what damn consoles are.
Yeah. Yeah. I just told them that I had one of those at home, and they said, well, why don't you go home and try it? Because it has no cords. It doesn't have anything to plug it into the wall or the TV or anything.
Yeah.
They'd have no idea if it works. So I'll have to give it a try. I'm actually kind of surprised that they let me take it. But
That's the moment you quit your job to keep the PlayStation 2. Never coming back.
I could just say someone broke into my house and stole it and then just have it. But I guess I'm too honest.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Yeah. Yeah. But I'm actually considering getting it though.
Yeah.
But not sure. I don't even know if it works.
Where are you getting it if you already have one, though?
My brother doesn't have one, and he said he wanted one.
Oh,
So
okay. Yeah, it shouldn't be too hard to get some cables online.
yeah.
I mean, in my box over there, I have a bunch of SCART cables, and I
And
don't know
since they don't really know what it is, they might not charge me too much for it either.
it's not worth too much either. It's a PS2. It's really old. You can run PS2 games on PlayStation 3 and some PlayStation 4s, I think.
Not sure.
So, like, I know, like, all PS3s can run PS2 games, pretty much. Or no, all PS3s can run PS1, but only some PS3s can run PS2s. That's how it was. Yeah, I remember it incorrectly, but
Yeah, I don't know why they can't though.
yeah, it's because the earlier ones that came out, they were really expensive. They had like four
yeah, I remember that.
USBs, they basically ended up cutting a bunch of features to sell it cheaper, to produce it cheaper.
Okay.
Hey, someone's chugging access.
Yeah, you can roll a perception, or the DM can say it.
Yeah, he does. He does. I wasn't lying. He has to roll perception. Because it is a chaotic situation.
Ooh, well, 19, perhaps. For what is it exactly? Smell or sight or what?
It's based on sight, so
I do smell dwarf.
You don't see what happened while you were gone.
Okay, but give me a short rundown of what happened.
You'll find out.
No, you don't get to see it yet.
Oh, and the two attacks.
I'll tell you when your character discovers it.
And the two
Just make
attacks
it
after mine.
Yeah, it's your turn.
It's your turn.
Yeah, but the before the axes were thrown, I see that 10 and a 22, and then a 3. Is that on me or?
No, that's not at you. That was him
Okay.
throwing axes at the enemies.
Okay.
That's all that you
No,
How
I
are
thought-
the
no, I
rats
thought,
doing?
he got attacked by 2 dogs and took 2 damage, or was that an NPC?
He got attacked by 2 dogs. Let's see. Where's the damage? 3. 3 damage.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was what I was asking. The 10 and then
The
22.
dogs attacked you and you took 3 damage, but the throwing axes didn't hit you.
Okay.
Yet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Okay. How are the rats doing?
You glance over at them and they don't. One seems to be faring a little bit better than they were before. One of the dogs ran away.
Okay, and the other one that is not doing so well, is he also in the same predicament?
They are actually equally in a predicament because they both have 2 dogs on them.
Okay, going to free up both the arms. 12.
12 misses.
Okay. 17. It's
17
17.
hits.
Okay, it's 10 again.
Alright. So, one of them no longer has 2 dogs on them.
The one in the
only
worst
has one
condition I'm trying to help right now.
Okay, the one in worse condition? Sure. You see one that's currently bleeding from the shoulder. You're not sure why.
Help him get one out.
Alright, and he no longer has 2 on him. He is now currently being dragged by his foot.
Just one quick stab or claw. Could do it.
Alright. Well, they're still reeling from the damage that they're taking, so it's taking them a bit longer than you think it should for them to draw their weapons.
Yeah. Okay, so that's the end of my turn again. Still encircled by 4 dogs, I guess.
Alright. So, it is now your turn, Ironhead.
I run towards the same rat, and I'm like 10 feet away from him now, and I throw my axes at the last dog.
Okay. Roll the hit. 11 misses, and 21 hits.
That's 8 damage.
Alright, the dog runs away, and the rat that is in worse condition is laying on the ground, trying to gather itself.
Can I gather my axes and help him up? Or would that be the next action?
You aren't close enough, remember?
Oh, yeah.
So
I
next
have
turn.
10 feet. Yeah.
Alright. So, it is... Oh wait, it wasn't your turn, but I'll roll for the enemies anyway. To attack, Lizard Man, I forget his name. So 16.
That's actually my armor class.
So it just barely hits.
Yep.
So you take 6 damage
Okay.
as it growls at you and tries to gnaw at your arm again, and you keep pushing it off, but it keeps managing to get back onto your arm again. So it is now your turn again.
Since he has been biting me, I claw it in the face.
Alright. You do have your lycanthropic claw. Do you
That's an
have the
18.
stat for that written down?
Yep. That's an
Okay.
18.
18 hits.
And it's 9 slashing damage.
Alright. Wow, that's pretty high
Awesome.
on those dice. So you're attacking the one that keeps hitting you, if I
Yeah.
remember correctly. Okay, so you just managed to push it off again, and in the same motion of you moving your arm back to push it off, you just come back and slash it right in the face, and it yelps
But
and starts walking away.
Claws are +5 in the book.
Yeah.
Okay, because I think you have +5 and dex and proficiency.
Oops. Well, my bad.
It's fine for me, but I'm just saying. So
It's,
you're
Just-
aware.
3
let's
points,
see.
that would be a 15. And that would be a 6 then.
6.
Damage and a 15 onto it.
Oh, okay. So you're.
If the dexterity is not
I
counting
see.
that.
I see the mistake you made. Okay. Yeah, yeah. I get you now. 5, 7. Okay.
That's-
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
my bad then.
6
Since you
damage.
did allow it for my bite attack, of course, so bit of confusion for me.
That's why. I made up a stat when I should have been looking at the stats here. Sorry about that. That's why. So for the bite, from now on, I'll let you have those. I'll let you have that 18, because I made the mistake.
Okay.
So, for the future, your bite is +4, and your claws are +4. That's what it says in the book.
Oh, to attack or damage?
To attack.
Okay, claws as well.
+4 to hit and +4 to on both.
Is that with the dex or proficiency? Or
That is without dex or proficiency.
Okay, kick that the bucket then. Okay, that's done.
Okay.
Okay, then after I got that annoying dog off me, I'm gonna help a rat and shoot one of the rats and shoot one of the dogs away.
Okay.
Which I do with a 20 and damage of 8.
Yeah, so the 2 dogs are you swatting off the ones that are attacking you? So this second one is for the second one that's attacking you?
No, the second one is for one of the rats.
Okay. Sorry.
That's attacking them.
Okay.
No, so the dogs that are attacking the rats.
so
Okay,
arrow
yeah.
shoots into the one of the rats.
Okay, be right back.
Okay, fair enough. So
Be right back as well.
the other one is also currently being dragged by one of its legs. So that's the way the other one happened, and this is the way this one's happening. So there you go. So enemy turn. There's still one dog in front of you. $21 to hit. This one hasn't hit you before. So 21 hits.
Yep, but I'll be right back.
Okay. Okay. So he takes 4 from the dog. Alright. Yeah, let's see. So it's Ironhead's turn.
Okay. I move to take my axe out of his shoulder.
And since he's not here, he doesn't hear that.
And
Okay,
keep
so-
moving towards the next dogs, whoever's closest, or whoever's in. If anyone's within 15 feet of the rat.
I'll say that since you were throwing the axes relatively close, except for the ones that hit, you get them all back. Because the ones that
Okay,
hit are in dogs that are still living, so they ran away.
That's fair. And I move towards if anyone's within range.
Alright, there are people that are in range. There's one rat that is currently being dragged by its foot. There is a boar that is currently being attacked. There's a bear, that is currently being attacked. There's a werewolf that is currently being attacked that you're not aware of who it is, though.
Okay, so I'll go to the rat then that's being dragged off if I can get to him, and I'll smash the thing.
Sure, you got it.
Bring out the big hammer.
You got the big hammer and swing.
18. Is it live? Oh, I can reroll because I have my where is it? Great fighting
Great
style.
Weapon Master or something.
No, it's the fighting style I took.
Okay, so you did get a 1, so you can reroll the 1, I guess.
That's better.
Oh, so there's a button so that way you can get the same roll? Oh wait, you have modifiers. That's right. It's not the dice. Okay. That's a bit better. Let's see. I'm checking their health. It's still alive. If you want to smack the same one.
19.
Yep, that hits.
22.
Yeah, you smack right into it again, and you crush its skull.
Nice.
And its little tuft of hair is just, and blood and guts are stuck to your hammer at the moment.
I'm used to that by now.
So it's a little you actually get a look at it since you crushed this thing's skull. You look at your hammer and you see the little red tuft of hair. It seems strange somehow. You're not sure how. Since your character is it just doesn't look like normal hair, I'll say.
Yeah, it's time for battle. I can do thinking later.
Yeah, but you did get a chance to look at it and you noticed it, I'll say.
Yeah.
Alright. So we're waiting again.
Yeah. Goldrick doesn't think too much during the battle, so he's just gonna keep fighting.
Fair enough. That's fine. I'm just saying that your character notices it, that's all.
Yeah.
So, now what? What is he doing?
I'm not entirely sure. He might be moving rooms at this point. I don't know.
I'm not sure, but whatever. And the only reason I'm eating, just so you're aware, I didn't have time
because
when I got home.
Yeah, I figured. It's not an issue for me. I know you don't usually do it, so. There we go. We were waiting for you again.
I don't hear him if he's supposed to be saying something.
Not yet. Are you muted again? Probably.
Oh.
I'll take that as a yes.
I have no idea what's going on. Let's see. It's not going to be one of those situations where he's messaging us again, is it?
I don't think so. Or I don't hope so. Can't you speak?
Is he messaging you on something else?
Yeah.
You said he had this problem fixed.
I was hoping he'd have it fixed.
He said it was.
Laptop is having hiccups.
You said it was simply that he didn't remember to turn on his microphone or something? That's what he said last time.
Yeah.
So that might still be the problem. Unless it is. He's still on something else that's a different problem.
He said he tried laptop is having hiccups, is what he said.
Okay. Well, here's what we're gonna do until he figures out his issue. Tell him, or I guess he can hear me,
Yeah.
so I don't have to do that. You took 4 damage, and you witnessed, this time it's apparent what happened. You saw Ironhead wielding his 2-handed, not axe, hammer.
Warhammer.
Yeah, and he just smote, just completely crushed one of the dog's heads, and the tuft of hair that's on the dog is currently stuck to his hammer, and you can see that as he's getting ready for his next attack. So what do you want to do? Maybe
Is there no way you can fix this, Geo?
Maybe it's just this campaign that's cursed or something. I don't know. Or this set of sessions, I'll call it for now. Just doesn't want to work for him.
Looks cool, okay. Well, I guess the bear is okay, and I will try. That's what he said.
Okay, try what you want to try. I have no idea what you're going to try, but go ahead.
I think maybe it's to fixing his problem.
So did you want to attack? I assume you do. If you need me to roll for your attacks, you can just tell me. But
Yeah, he's typing now.
I'm under the assumption.
Yeah, do that for now.
Okay.
I think he's trying to figure out if he can do something about this.
Okay. I'll just bring up his character sheet.
Yeah, he's saying he's going to fix the issue. So
Okay. Fair enough. So, the only question left is, who does he want to attack? And with what?
who do you want to attack and with what? If not, we can just say you shoot something with your bow. Claw away. We're just gonna claw.
Okay, claw. He misses. And misses. So you swing and you swing. This dog is too dexterous. And so I assume that's his turn. Based on everything else.
Yeah, probably.
I'm just gonna add his damage, since he seems to be not able to get into roll 20. So 39 is what he's at. Okay. So now it's technically enemy turn. One dog is gonna lurch at him. So, whoops, not 13. Okay, so 19. I'll check his armor class. 16, so it hits him. Wow, this dog is doing real good now that the other one's gone. The other one was just getting in its way. So 1 and d6. And he takes 3 damage. So he is at 36 now.
Yep.
He's taken a lot of damage. Because his max is 58, and he's at 36. So he's taken a lot of damage. Alright. So that's him. Ironhead. Wow, something got caught in my throat. Ironhead.
Yeah, he said he wanted to intimidate.
He wanted to attempt to intimidate?
Yeah.
What does he want to do to intimidate?
Probably the clawing.
Well, while he's figuring that out, what does Ironhead do?
roar. Yeah, he is roaring.
Okay. I'll roll his intimidation. I know it sucks, because he can't do anything while he's trying to figure out what's going on.
Well, Geo, how about we just put yours to when your turn comes up, you just attack whatever's close to you, and you can try and leave Google Hangouts and fix your problem. Is that fine by you? Yeah. Okay. Try and see if you can do something about it.
Yeah, restart your
So-
computer or whatnot.
Yeah. So we can keep things moving. I know it's a bit
So
much to wait
I'll
for
roll
you
his
to.
intimidation. And he got pretty high for having a -1. So he goes, and let's see. Yeah, there's no way. The dog that's in front of him runs off. And I'll make a perception check for the other ones, see if they see this happening. I'll make 3 perception checks and make them into groups just to speed this up a little bit.
Yeah.
Let's see. Perception plus 3. They have a plus 3 for perception. 1, 2, 3. Oh, 2 that
One
have
group
the same number.
notices.
So one group notices. The ones that are attacking the boar run away. After that.
Okay.
Okay. So that happens. Okay. So, I'll say that happened during his turn. So, actually, that can't happen during his turn.
Because they attacked.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I'll just say that
It's my
happens
turn now.
after. I'll say that happens out of order. So he gets attacked and they run away.
Yeah.
So Ironhead, you
The
witness,
2 groups remaining are the bear and who else?
and there was another group. I forget what I said, but they were lycanthropes that went with him.
I think there
I
was.
don't
Was
remember
there
what they were.
another boar? Like one boar that went with him and one that ran after?
I think so. I think that's what
Yeah,
it was.
probably.
So it's the other one. The
Okay,
one that wasn't severely damaged at the start of this battle.
I'll go over to that one then, and I'll try and attack whatever's there.
Okay, yeah, you're close enough to get to it.
Let's see. And how badly does he look? Or like the boar?
Oh, the boar is fine. He's just
Okay.
swinging his tusks left and right.
So that's 25 and 21. I really like this
Let me
great
see.
master.
You completely decimate one of them by you sort of do this expert swing underneath its chin, and you hear a snap in its neck as it flies back, and then you go to the next one and you hit it in the ribs, and unfortunately that one is just barely hanging on, and it starts limping away.
I'm not done yet. I'm gonna action surge.
Okay. It starts limping away as you action surge. It doesn't get far though. Let's see.
And I see it's wounded, so I bring my hammer down a bit more accurate this time.
Okay.
Which I needed.
You just barely hit him.
16.
Yeah, and you see that it didn't die the first time you hit it in the ribs, so you just smack it in the ribs again, and it cracks in half, and the 2 halves just fall to the ground. A little bit of intestines and entrails, keeping the 2 halves still connected.
Is there another one here, or is the last one at the
There's
board?
one more. There's one more. Okay, 20 hits. For 23, that just barely kills it. So
Nice.
you swing down on this one's back, and it just cracks, and it starts yelping a little bit before it just lays down, unable to continue moving. So the situation is dealt with. You currently can't RP with your teammate, but if you want to talk to one of the NPCs, you can attempt to.
Yeah.
You do know that one of them saw one of them. Well, he saw it because it happened to him. You know, at least one of them saw that an axe got embedded in his shoulder. So while he's gone, quick.
I'll go over to whoever I drew it in.
Alright, he's still in his hybrid form, and you can see that there's a big gash in his shoulder, and he's currently trying to figure out a way to make the gash close, but you don't think he's going to die from this wound. He's he's a rare creature, so they heal fairly quickly. But they don't heal fast enough for them to be regenerating in battle. So you know that he'll heal a bit quicker than a normal person. So you know if he puts it back into place long enough, it'll heal. But he's still currently trying to fidget with it, and it's bleeding blood. And he sees you come over, and he sort of his eyes go wide, and he starts backing away from you a little bit.
I'll reach a hand out to help him back up.
He goes, and he reaches his non-damaged hand up to you.
Guess who?
Yeah, we know who, but and it's working, so that's great.
There goes my laptop again.
But I'll tell the where at. Sorry about what happens, but these axes are poor craftsmanship. They're not even balanced properly.
And he begrudgingly takes your hand and gets up, and he's still holding his gaping wound on his shoulder.
It's nothing serious. You'll live.
Yeah, I know.
Can I walk over?
Yes, the battle just ended,
Fuck him.
and you didn't have to take another turn. You didn't take another turn. So the battle ended, he ran over and just crushed 3 dogs right in a row.
With my action surge.
Yeah, he used an action surge, and he just crushed the first one. He hit the second one. It didn't die right away, so he just, out of spite, just cracked it again with his action surge. And then he hit the third one and killed that one as well. So, all the dogs either ran away and dispersed, or they are dead. So, you have, I'll say before you approach him, there are 4 dog carcasses that you still have around the camp, I'll say. So you approach, and we don't hear you.
You.
Good googly moogly. I guess he's... Is he muted? I assume not, or otherwise we would have heard him by now. Unless if some sort of terrible disaster just happened where he is.
I think
An
that's
earthquake
very
split open his house, and that's why he is not currently talking.
Something broke in the Hangouts.
Something broke in the Hangouts?
No, he wrote it in the Hangouts, in the chat there.
Is it your computer, or just some other random thing? That would be my first question. Because if it's his laptop, then I would suggest switching to another device if you have one. If you don't, then... Yeah, I assume he's switching to something else. I'm just making an assumption. So you can continue talking, and he doesn't get to approach since he vanished from the face of the earth.
Are you still here now, then?
He is back.
No,
Nope.
we don't hear you.
How about now?
Okay.
Yeah, we are. There's a bunch of background noise, though.
Yeah, we
Guys,
hear a humming
Yeah.
noise,
Do you hear me
and
now?
we did hear for a couple of seconds a lot of scratching noises.
Yeah, we hear you. Or do you hear? Or do you not hear us at this point?
Yes, I do hear you, finally. I
Okay.
don't even know what's going on.
Okay. Well, at least it's working at the moment. So
Yes,
you
at the moment.
approach. You approach.
I approach, touch the one with the gaping wound, and use Cure Wounds.
Okay. Fair enough. Cast it if you can, if you're in the roll 20.
I can. Huzzah.
It closes a little bit, but you have a feeling that this. Actually, make a medicine check.
Okay. Something I can do. Ooh.
Even with a 6, these aren't bite marks. This isn't a result of a bite mark.
Well, let's buff it a bit up then.
Alright?
9.
Alright. So, you heal 9? It says 6.
Yeah. It's a higher level, so it's
Oh.
6 plus 3.
6 plus. Oh, okay. I'm going crazy. Okay, fair enough.
Aren't we all?
So, yeah, the wound closes.
Okay, how is our
How is
boar
what?
friend doing?
He's fine. He didn't even get touched. The
Well,
axe is
except-
covered in not
I
axe.
told you
like
some
me.
dogs won't be a problem.
Yeah, his hammer's completely slick with blood, and there's like skull fragments on one side with a tuft of hair. Also,
A bit of blood flied over to my armor too, so it's a bit dirty.
yeah.
So walk over to him and ask him, "You want a skull on that?
I want a what?
A skull?"
A skull? I think I broke most of them.
You broke 2 of them, but the other 2 still have their skulls intact. The other 2, he crushed the head of the first one that he killed, and then he crushed the head of the second one that he killed. But the other 2, one is broken in half and strewn about, its entrails everywhere, and the other one, it looks like it was folded into the shape of a V. And its back legs are sticking up in the air, and its front legs are sticking up in the air, and so is its head.
I don't see what I'm gonna do with the skull, but I'll start heading towards the 2 with the broken skulls, and I suggest we go up and grill them.
That's a good idea, but maybe look nice, because you have little stuff there. I say as I touch it a bit.
Just a second. So you guys can keep going. But I'm gonna do something for a second.
Okay, I'll start dragging 2 of the dogs.
I
Alright.
pick up the other 2 and, well, get
Another
the
1.5.
guts.
One is in 2 pieces. He said he was gonna take the 2 with the crushed skulls. So one is in 2 pieces and one is bent in half.
Your choice.
Well, let's go get them messy.
Alright, so you can pick them up, though it's a bit bloody. And their
I don't mind.
skulls.
I don't mind.
Their skulls are about this big,
Well,
sort of.
bone fragments can do a lot, so. Snatch,
So you can
snatch,
you can
snatch,
t- you can
snatch,
harvest
snatch.
skulls if you want, and put them on your armor or whatnot, but or other bones if you wish.
I'm just gonna collect all the bones.
Alright, fair enough. So anything else you guys want to do before going back to rest?
Well,
I'm going
I'm
back
gonna need it.
dogs to start grilling them for me and the other man.
For you
Okay.
and the other man?
Yeah, like you probably are eating the dogs you have. I figured.
Well, maybe. I'm sharing with the rest, of course.
I'll say that they're very hard to cook, and you.
I don't know that.
Yeah, but you're noticing it as you're cooking them.
Okay.
Is what I'm gonna say. You're noticing that they're very hard to cook due to the fact that you might assume, I'm not sure what your character would assume, you might assume that this is because they live in a land of fire. So they're probably slightly resistant to it. So you can still cook them, but it takes a little bit longer than you think it should.
They're just eating it raw.
Basically.
We have plenty of time, so we're just resting while this is happening, pretty much. Not full sleeping, but
Well, I do share the meat
Anything
with
that
my.
your character would be doing?
Well, I'm sharing the meat with my pack, quote unquote.
Going to meet with who? Sorry?
With my group.
Oh yeah, sure. Most of them are awake now due to the commotion. They're animalistic people, right? So they heard everything that was happening.
Mm-hmm.
So they're aware. So who do you want to talk to? Anybody specifically?
Well, I let the meat be distributed by the boar and the bear.
Yeah.
And then hello.
The one boar that rushed off before.
Yes.
He pipes up and he's like, I could use some.
So I dropped the one that is shaped in a V.
Okay. He starts turning back into his native form and his humanoid form, and he picks it up and he starts taking it off, ripping it apart, basically.
I tap him with my bow and say, "Do share with the others."
He sort of begrudgingly. This guy's let's see. He's a strange creature. Actually, make a nature check.
Okay. Let's see if my brain knows what to do. I do.
Alright, let me just double check. 18. Okay, this is a creature called a... Let me just double check and see if they're in the book. Because I'm not 100% sure if they're in the main books or not. Because if they're not, then I'm going to change it. But if they are... Then...
what? Bear?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's a humanoid. I'm just gonna look.
It's rats, tigers, boars, wolves, and bears.
Humanoid.
Yeah, I'm not talking about the
Okay.
were creature. I'm talking about his native form. They are in the book. Okay. This creature is a Sahagin.
Sahagin?
Maybe?
I have no idea what it is. So I'm not
But, your Runk, I think his character's name is.
Yep.
Runk knows what it is. It's basically a fish-like creature that stands on 2 feet and has hands and everything. It has a long fish-like tail, and it can breathe underwater. And they usually have spears and things like that. Oh, they can't breathe underwater, sorry. They can hold their breath for 4 hours.
Just let's see. That's 1, that's 2.
So they can hold their breath for 4 hours without suffocating.
That's 4 times as long. Well, that is. No, not 4, that is. 4. 16 times as long as me.
Yeah. He looks at you and he says, he looks over at the rest of the group and he looks like he's sort of, even with his strange fish-like face, because he has like fins on his cheeks and things like that. He's looking up at you, and even through his more fish-like face, you can tell that he's seriously considering not sharing it. And then he says, "Okay, fine." And he starts tearing off pieces of meat and throwing them to different people around.
I just picture like a cake. That's a slice out to give to the rest.
Yeah. He's ripping different hunks of meat off to throw to everybody else. But
So the one ripped in half, I give to the bear.
all right, and the entrails are already everywhere on the ground and everything.
Yeah, that is a problem I couldn't fix.
He sniffs it a little bit and he says, "This is some of our natural food." He turns back into his humanoid form, which is a human, and he starts divvying it up a little bit, almost instinctively, to some of the others.
Yeah, I tap him as well, say, do share.
Yeah. He does it. He's already doing it in the process of doing it when you say that. Ripping off a leg and throwing it to somebody, and ripping off another leg, throwing it to somebody else. That sort of thing.
And then I go to the Black Dragonborn.
Alright, and he is in his tiger form. And since I didn't get into it before, his tiger form is a little bit strange. If you sort of if his fur like moves a little bit, you can see underneath is this black substance on his tiger form skin. So he looks a little bit darker than a regular tiger.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks up at you and he says, "Good work out there." And you see a hunk of meat get thrown in front of him as you approach him. And he sort of looks at it and he looks up at you and he says, "Good work out there."
Eat. You need more than me.
He glances down at it and he looks up at you and he says, "Well, didn't you want to talk? Isn't that why you came over here?"
Ay. Yes, I do, cause people are very desperate, I see.
Well, some of us are a little less able to control our animalistic nature, let's say.
We can speak from experience.
He sort of looks over towards the boar, the Sahagin that was the boar before, and he sort of gestures towards him. And he was the one who ran right into the situation as soon as he heard that there was food close by.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
what do you think? Should we punish him or what? He seems to be leaving this situation in your hands.
I think I punish him enough with arrow to like get in headbutt.
He looks over and he just grins. Even on his tiger-like form, you can tell he's having a laugh to himself. And he says, "So how much did you hurt?" He's looking over, but he's asking you.
He squeal like a little pig.
Figures. And he looks over and he says, "Realize that the ones who usually get that form are usually that way because they're too pig-headed."
Pig-headed indeed.
He nods. Well, you managed to get the wolf. Means you should, in the future, at least be able to control yourself a little bit more than most.
I guess as much.
Wolves are very noble creatures. They tend to be able to know when to strike and work with their companions. So I guess that's why you got this one.
I guess. I saw when I told everyone I saw him run off. I was like, "Oh no, you not go alone."
That is to be expected from a wolf. And he's just now noticing you see a furrow in his brow. He sort of seems troubled for a second, and then he looks at you and he says, "Have you tried changing since this morning?"
No, I didn't. Well, we did try when we tried leave town, but that didn't work back then.
Right. So, give it another go.
Well, I do then, I guess.
And he says, "Simply think of the form you wish to take." And you've seen the other ones be in animal form and humanoid form and this form, so you get the hint that you might be able to change if you think of one of those three forms.
Well, I try to think of my human form.
All right. Make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh gosh, this is going to backfire like crazy. 11?
All right. Instead, you change into your wolven form. And he looks down at you and he says, "You did change."
I know the and say, "Yeah, I did, but not what I want." At least if I can speak at all.
Yeah, you can speak in your animal form.
Okay.
They've been speaking in their animal forms as well.
Yeah. Maybe that I'm not controlling it quite yet, so who knows?
This is strange. We've only heard of a few instances of people having such troubles. And he seems like he's deep in thought.
So I give it another shot.
Alright. What form?
Another wisdom.
What form are you attempting to change?
Still my humanoid, the native form.
Okay. Go ahead. Another wisdom.
Oh gosh.
You change into your hybrid form. And he looks up at you and he says, "Did you mean to do that?"
Close.
Bro, let me think on this for a moment. If you don't mind, you can keep trying if you wish. You can try 3 more times before he responds, so you can do that if you wish.
So, question: how long have we been awake right now?
Quite a while. You've been awake the whole day, and it's the middle of the night.
So is it already the 4 hours, or?
you were fighting, which counts as strenuous action, which interrupts your rest.
Okay, so I better start resting soon.
You can try 3 more times if you wish before he responds to you.
I'm gonna give it one more shot and then go say hit the hay. Well,
Right.
2 shots. Give it 2 more shots. 10. And 8. Not having any luck today.
Sorry about that, I just had to blow my nose.
Oh. A 10 and an 8, so I'm not having any luck.
Alright, so 10 and an 8. You change into the forms you didn't want to change into. So if you were trying to be your native form,
yeah. So
then you kept changing back and forth into the wolf and the hybrid form.
So I'm trying to do something. This time I'm gonna try the wolf form.
Okay. You can try to do a wolf form.
Try reverse psychology.
Okay, go ahead.
Don't say now I roll. Now I roll high enough.
So you try to turn into the wolf.
Oh no!
Funny. And you change into the wolf form naturally. And it feels when you do it the way that it's supposed to happen, it feels natural, as if you just wanted to do that and it happens. But when you kept failing, you felt like your brain was being discombobulated. You get disoriented for like a second.
And
so you have a feeling that something's wrong.
So I curse a little and tell him, this time I did want to do this, but I actually did.
No. This has happened a few times in our history. And he seems genuinely troubled. And then he says, it usually means that you are displeased with being this way. At least in the history. But you seemed willing.
Well, you did do something, but not displeased, so you might have trouble, that's all.
I figured that you needed to change. Sooner the better. You usually age a lot quicker when you're not as we are. So, I figured it would be better done sooner.
Well, okay, but maybe I have trouble with doing it. Can happen.
He's still deep in thought, but he... Actually, I'll make a roll. He says, there was one instance of someone needing a magical implement to aid them.
You mean like this? And I run off to my bag and get the 2 red totems I still have.
You're technically still in your wolf form.
I can still pick them up, like flip over the
your items that are currently equipped on you, which you would have in your backpack. Mold into your wolven form.
Ah, okay, so
you have to be in your hybrid form or your human form to access the items.
Okay, change back then.
Okay, so which form are you trying to change into?
Well, at least one of the humanoids.
Okay, you have to think of a specific one. It's the only way it works.
So, not the hybrid.
Okay, so wisdom saving throw. You turn into the hybrid form.
I should grab my backpack and grab 2 red totems like these?
And he looks at you and he says, well, this is our aspects. You should really have one. I forgot about that. They're just, how do I say, symbolic.
Yeah, okay.
Do you have a woven one in your hands? Or do you have
No,
Okay. Well,
both
then
are
in that case, you need to have one made or make one.
good thing I can.
Do you think you can make one? Your character could make one?
Yeah, actually I can.
Oh, cool.
Because thanks to the Outlander feat, I can learn one of the tool proficiencies, which I didn't add yet.
Oh, cool. Well, I'll say that you can learn Tinkerer's tools, and that would be sufficient
Yeah,
to make one.
well, woodcrafting could also do it, right?
Sorry?
Woodcraft.
Oh, wood crafting? I'd say that that would work, but technically they're not made out of wood.
Uh,
I'd say that that
well,
will
wood.
work if you wanted to. Have that instead of
Let me see.
Tinkerer's tools.
The only thing that actually wood is carpenter. Actually, let's see. Yeah, that's the only one. So carpenter it is.
Alright, fair enough. You basically, he instructs you for. I'll say that you do this when you wake up. So you guys go to sleep.
Mhm.
Oh wait, did you finish your conversation with him? Did you have anything else you want to bring up?
Let me think. Like, yes, we mentioned a focus or something that could help.
Yes, sir. It's a magical item. The specific enchantment, I'm not sure. We haven't done it since I joined the pack. He starts thinking. The other tiger actually approaches and says, "Well, actually, the enchantment, the only thing I'm aware of is that the enchantment, the specific wording that when an identify spell is used upon it, is that it helps the wearer control their bestial nature. If that helps." And he sort of wanders off and goes back to sleep. And he says, "Yes, well, controlling our bestial nature, I'm assuming that it's a specific werewolf, or were creature, I should say, item. Though it might have an effect on regular people, but I haven't seen one myself. The last person who had one died, and we were unable to recover his body."
The giants or the town?
Well, not the town, but he was out to sea, ironically enough,
Oh,
and his body was lost at sea.
yeah, that's problem. That's big problem. So yeah. Well, I guess I just have to keep trying.
Yes, keep practicing, it might help, though I'm not sure it will, but you can attempt to try.
Well, I can at least say I'm not displeased.
Alright. And he sort of just crosses his paws, and he sort of lays his head down. He seems like he's at least finished on that subject. If you have anything else you want to bring up with him.
No, that's it. I'm then going to my place to sleep. Before I go to sleep, I give it just one more shot.
Alright. Choose a form that you wish to turn into.
Native.
Alright, go ahead. You haven't been in your native form all day, so... Oh, you actually managed to do it. So you come back and you have your armor on and everything. and everything is as it was before you transformed in the morning, in the early hours of the morning.
The bite mark on my arm gone.
You look and you remember that during your transformation, the bite mark healed instantly before you changed.
Well, that's at least good. No time for bed.
Alright, you go to sleep. Morning comes, and you guys are still asleep when everybody else is waking up. Because, well, relatively, because you guys went to sleep after certain people. So there's a bunch of people who are currently awake, waiting for you to finish your rest. And, because everybody is aware that that's how healing works. You get a full rest, and you manage to heal what happened the previous day, for the most part, unless if it's a serious injury.
Which is not for me.
And you guys awaken, and everybody else is awake. So what do you want to do?
Well, if we're packing or gathering food for breakfast and such, then help with that.
I'll start organizing the people, like tell them to pack down the tents.
All right, yeah, they're a pretty well-organized military operation. Seems like maybe these guys are a unit of some sort, and they're practiced. They take all the tents down within like 5 minutes.
And
Well, I
we're
guess-
ready to head out. I don't know what the were creatures are doing.
Well, I asked them if anyone is hungry, of course, or they want something to eat in the morning before they go marching on an empty stomach.
The were creatures, they say, well, we ate the last of our food last night.
Well, I
And
guess we
he's
could.
referring to that dog, the dogs that you gave them to eat.
Well, I do have rations, of course. So I could spread them around. It's not a lot, but it's something.
No, you worry about yourself. We'll take care of our own. Well,
No.
technically you are one of us, but take care of yourself.
Yeah, I have enough food, so share is share.
Alright, I'll say that you get rid of all your rations then. Any
Fair
that you
enough.
have left.
So that is, since I need it for yesterday's, that is 9 rations.
Yeah, there's more than 9 of them there, so in order to feed them all, you would
You
have
just
to.
spread it evenly.
Yeah. So you have 1 more day's ration worth in your pack, just so that way you for the rest of the day, and the rest of them share the rest.
Yeah.
Alright. So, before you leave, I'm gonna get you both to make a perception check.
Perception. Great.
You just get an eye in your fly. No, I mean, a fly in your eye.
Good one. An eye in your fly. You know what I picture? I don't know if you guys call it that or not, but the zipper on pants, we call them flies.
Oh yeah, I know.
So-
It's the English word for it.
I just imagined someone putting an eyeball in their zipper on their pants.
Some necromancer with pants.
Yeah, he has an eyeball there.
Decorated.
So, oh.
Oh god, stop it, I'm breaking.
Yeah. So, yeah, basically, when you go to look, you're the people
Assaulted by a
who
fly.
the soldiers, you're just trying to learn how they dismantle this stuff so quickly. So you're just sort of looking at them and seeing if you can apply something similar. So instead of looking around, you're paying attention to them, I'll say. And for you, Drunk, You see in the distance, approaching the mountain, though walking toward you, but from a distance. I'll bring up the map to make this a little bit easier to explain.
So a giant from the mountains coming towards us, right? Or general
whoops,
direction.
I brought up my Roll20 and I didn't mean to. So coming. So you guys are about here, and actually, that's impossible. I was going to distract. It's a good thing I brought up. You guys are about here. And you see coming out of the water, strangely enough. No, first. So what I said before is next. Here's what I said. You notice that the ocean in this direction is turning to ice in a strange way.
Where to the? Oh, it's turning to ice.
Yeah, it's turning to ice.
I slowly point with my finger to it and say, "Is that normal for now time of year?"
Who are you asking?
Just Adam, my general.
Okay. One of the rats that's next to you. Actually, I'll say, yeah, one of the rats that's next to you. This guy got severely injured in the fight. The previous day, he had a strange wound on his arm that you healed. This is the same guy. And he looks over and he says, "No." He seems distressed by what's happening.
Can't you explain what's going on? Because I'm feeling this bad. Very bad.
One of the giants is returning from an excursion elsewhere.
Wait.
How far are you scouting ahead still, or are you moving with us now? Because it's a new day.
No, we're still at the
You guys
camp.
are still at the camp.
Okay.
So you can technically,
That's a
I'll say
great
that you
opportunity.
overhear. I'll say that you overhear them talking about something strange happening.
We should intercept them.
Yes, but we're not just talking about a normal giant there. We're talking about a smart giant that can use magic.
All
Seems-
giants are smart, and most of them can use magic. At least
Well,
these
except
ones.
hill giants.
We aren't dealing with hill giants.
The rat guy from the previous fight, he points over, and as you guys are having this conversation, you sort of glance over as he's pointing, and you see. Let me see if I can pull it up. No, this is the world map. I don't want to show you that. So I'll stop sharing for a second, pull it up, and then share it again.
Pull out his evil DM calculations.
I just don't want you to see my folder full of pictures and stuff.
These
In case
pictures
you
are
wanna
full
use
of
something better.
plans.
Yeah. Come on, that's stupid. There.
Yeah, I suggest we intercept them, and we go towards where he's hiding, and we set up an ambush.
Huh? Yeah.
This is what you see walking across the water. Huge and tall, like a giant.
I say it's a bad idea to attack. Well, it would work to attack now, but maybe further away from water? I don't know.
We're moving to intercept them. We're not going to move out to water. We wouldn't be able to reach them in time, even if
Yeah,
we
but-
tried.
What I mean is, let's not attack them when they close to water.
We're not going to. We're going to intercept them on their way and set up an ambush.
Okay.
The giant is just nonchalantly striding across the frozen water.
Then
Yeah.
we need to be quick.
So yeah, we start heading. I start marching the men to somewhere we can intercept, like far ahead of the giant, so we can set up an ambush of some sort.
Okay. Make a perception check, both of you.
10.
And I'm gonna stop sharing. 10 and 14.
Mhm.
Ironhead, one of your soldiers actually points out a relatively defensible looking position. It's like a ridge, and it's about 20, I'll say, no, not 20,
Okay.
15 miles away. And the giant, the way the
Come
giant
on.
is walking directly towards it, and the ridge has a little lip up, and on the other side you can hide your soldiers basically behind it.
How many of my soldiers have ranged weapons?
Let me see. They all have a ranged weapon of some sort, but
Okay.
some have longer ranged ones, and some
Yeah.
have very short ranged ones. So
then basically the plan is to have all the soldiers behind there while I step down there to talk with the giant first, or to keep the giant there.
okay.
And
And-
basically they attack on my signal is what I'll tell them.
And I'll say that the two groups are together at this point while you're planning. So the lycanthropes are hearing this. What do you guys want them to do?
You're free to say whatever you want, Hunk, about that. Like, I'm not telling you that in character, but you get the feeling. I'm commanding my people, and you can tell the listener or the weird creatures.
Lycanthropes.
I think talk first. I think talk first, fight later.
Yeah, that's what I said.
And the black dragonborn tiger looks up at you because he's in his tiger form. So he's sort of on his all fours looking up at you. And he says, "So do you want us to hide with the soldiers?"
Yes, that would be smart.
Okay, so we'll hide behind that ridge up there.
You know when things go south very bad. I mean,
alright. We're gonna just have to negotiate. Alright. And he looks back at the other ones and starts telling them what to do, basically. Because they have a system set up. So, you guys are going there as fast as possible, or?
Yeah, we're trying to get there quickly.
mhm.
Okay. So, you are aware that the soldiers cannot move as fast as the lycanthropes. Are the lycanthropes just going to speed on ahead to get there? Or
We can set up beginnings for them so that they at least have something to work with.
okay.
I cannot move as fast as the soldiers.
The
Well, you know what?
are
You know,
moving a platoon type style. I don't know if that's the right word, but they're basically moving in formation.
Yeah.
So
You know-
they're not moving as fast as a regular just walking person. So you
know
can
what?
keep up with them.
You know what? Well, I just let it. Okay, then I will help set up the beginning. Then when they arrive, go to the place where we can start negotiating.
Okay. Fair enough. So, let's see. So, I'll say that when the soldiers are about, I'll say, 3/4 of the way there when you guys arrive at the ridge. And you see the giant striding nonchalantly, just like with their arms at their side, just actually kind of elegantly for something of such immense size. Because it's a female giant. And they're just looking very intently at the volcano top as they're striding towards it.
I'm gonna try and get her attention that she doesn't.
Are we there yet?
The soldiers aren't there yet.
No, yeah.
The lycanthropes are there. So what do you guys want to do?
Okay, I first let the soldiers get there before I'm gonna try and catch her attention.
Okay, so what do you want to do before they get there? Anything?
At least help with a little setting up a little bit.
Okay, so the way that I'll describe the area a little bit more. Basically, you're on the edge of a cliff, but on the top part where you are, there is a what's it called? A jagged edge, I'll say, that's sticking up, and then it goes down straight. So you're currently standing on a flat area, and there's a wall beside you, and on the other side of the wall is a drop of about, I'll say, 100 feet. And the giant is on the other side of that drop, still approaching in that direction, coming towards you, but still quite a distance away.
How could we set up?
So right now you're behind, I'll say, a 4-foot high jagged up rock wall, basically, and you're standing behind it, and then it comes down on the other side, so you can just barely peek over the top of this wall. Most of your human or animalistic companions are just barely able to peek over.
How many bows do we have?
You have the soldiers have bows, but you guys don't.
I can start making a few, like from whatever I can find, hoping that there is something I can make for them.
Yeah, most of your lycanthropic companions, they use melee weapons because they figure that they're able to get close enough in their animalistic forms to be able to melee anything. So they only have melee weapons.
Can I make a few bows so that people who aren't
Do you
that
have
very...
wood? Do you have wood?
Is there any wood around me?
You look around, make a perception check.
Oh god, scroll down.
Alright. You see one of those trees that seems to have where leaves are supposed to be, they have like spigots of fire shooting out of them. You see one of those nearby.
Good enough.
Alright, you approach, you see some sticks, and you look at them, and unfortunately they are hollow.
Those can be the arrows.
Alright, so you start making arrows, but you can go up to the tree. The main tree has little spigots of fire shooting out of the branches. What do you want to do?
Can I snap off one of the branches, perhaps?
You can attempt to. You
Yes.
would need to climb the tree.
Which I am.
Okay. Do you have a climbing speed?
Not that I know of. No, it's
Okay,
not
then
very insane.
it's a acrobatics, I'll say.
Acrobatics, okay, here we go.
Yeah. Checks on climbing are acrobatics or athletics, but you have half movement speed when you're climbing unless you have a bonus.
7.
Yeah, unless if you have a climbing speed, which...
Yeah.
7, you start to climb up the tree, and unfortunately you slide back down before you can get very high.
Then I'm gonna try and change into my hybrid form.
Okay. Wisdom saving throw. You managed
Getting
to
better
do so.
at it. And start climbing using my claws.
Alright, I'll give you advantage, since you're using claws.
13.
You just barely managed to keep hold of the tree. This tree is almost, the wood is much harder than many trees you've climbed before. If you've ever climbed trees, I'm assuming. But you're an outlander, so I assume you have.
Yeah.
So, you climb the tree, and you manage to get to the branch, and you start to try to break it off, and one of the other lycanthropes notices that you're doing this, and he says, "Wait, don't!" And then you're still in the middle of doing it, so I'm gonna say make a athletics check.
Athletics
Break the
check.
branch.
What?
Athletics check.
Oh. 20.
Break the branch off, and
Oh god.
somebody was trying to warn you before you did this, but you were too strong when in your attempt, your genuine attempt to break it.
Yeah.
Let's see. You suffer 12 points of damage.
Ouch.
As you break off the branch, you notice that the tree is hollow inside, and a torrent of fire just hits your hand.
Hmm.
And you drop the branch on the ground, and now where the branch was, there's like a gout of fire that's just constantly being produced out of the tree, where the hole is.
Okay, so trees are more like caps that keep fire in them? Okay,
And
at that.
I'll say that you climbed down easily enough, but your hand, you're just like, because your hand just got burnt severely.
Cure wounds.
You can
Just-
attempt to do that.
Just
And-
level 1.
You look at the branch, so you heal 5 points out of the 12. And you look at the branch is completely hollow.
Well, I can try and make a bow of that.
So inside there's absolutely nothing, and there's a ring of wood around nothing. Seems like these trees produce fire within them and send them out through the hollow branches.
I'm just gonna try and make a bow out of it since it was a pretty sturdy tree.
Alright, so you're a carpenter. I'll say you can use your carpentry tools with dexterity plus d20 plus dexterity plus proficiency.
Which I have thanks to that feat. So here goes. 15.
You managed to curve the wood enough so that way it resembles a bow. And you don't have string. I forgot about that.
I do.
Oh, you have string? So you managed to string it up. You have your mundane bowstring. I forgot about that.
Yeah.
So you managed to tie it up, and it looks functionable, though the wood might be a bit too flexible for what you want, but it seems functionable, and the wood is hard but flexible.
So carefully try to string it back and fire it without an arrow.
Alright, you pull it back, and you let go. It seems to work, though if someone wasn't proficient in using a bow, they might break it.
So I start asking out if someone knows how to use a bow properly.
One of the rats approaches, and he sort of raises his hand.
So I hold out the bow to him. Show me.
He takes it, and I'm going to roll something. See what happens. He expertly manages to pull it back. And did you give him an arrow?
I gave him one of the hollow ones that I made.
Okay. He pulls it back, and he shoots it at the wall, the stone wall, and it shatters against the wall. But he seems like he was able to aim it properly. It didn't go in a strange direction or anything.
That's very good. Very good.
Well, thanks, I guess. A bit rusty, but before I became one of these, I was a rogue, so I was decent with a bow.
Oh, good for you. Well, if you work a bit by it, then you can help. Then you can help with range and also if things go bad.
Alright. I'm gonna say that you managed to cut the with your carpentry skill. You managed to cut the branch in two, so you get to make two bows.
And I have just one string.
Well, somebody else might come up with something. One of the soldiers might have a spare string that they can give.
Yeah, and then I need another person who can actually shoot.
Yeah, and another person comes forward, and they seem fine.
So I'm gonna let them try, of course, to see how they're doing. Then, if they do well,
yeah, they do well.
Then hand them some of the arrows I made as well.
Right. So you guys the other group arrives. Ironhead, you see him currently out of this strange wood.
You mute yourself, Kyo. You're making a lot of background noise.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh.
I was just about to say something.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were making a lot of background noise.
You have to go actually pretty soon, right? Like nowish, since nearly 1 o'clock here.
Do you have a few more minutes?
A few,
I want to get to the part where the giant comes.
Yes, I think I can do that.
Okay. So, the other group arrives. So, Ironhead, you see him making arrows and stuff out of this weird wood.
No. I tell the people to set up and stay quiet.
Alright, so you have mostly humans in your brigade. So they're tall enough to get their ranged weapons above the wall and still be able to be actually able to do what they do. So they see the giant is getting relatively close, so they're not going to get up and over it yet. They're going to stay behind.
Yeah.
And listen to see what happens.
And I'll just say that I'll just say some word in Dwarvish and say that's the signal.
Okay.
It's basically charge in Dwarvish. They might know it because military often uses Dwarvish words.
Yeah.
I can understand them.
If they aren't familiar with it, they act as if they are, and they'll remember the word.
Yeah.
Easily. Alright. So, I assume you guys go down into the ravine below?
Yeah. I go down into the ravine, and I just wait until it gets closer.
Alright.
I go down with them.
Alright. So, the giant approaches. And you can see in the distance the legs are swinging like oak trees swinging, if oak trees could swing. And she appears to be approaching. She doesn't appear to notice you. And she's within 200 feet. And she can stride about 50 feet per stride.
I'm going to try and catch her attention with a fog cloud.
Okay, where are you going to cast it? Like, up at her eye level?
Wide open, but okay.
What are you going to
I'm going to try and catch her attention towards us.
Okay, so are you going to cast it in front of her eyes, or are you going to, like, cast it in front of her, like, a few feet, or what are you going to do?
I'm going to let it look like an arrow down that she puts her attention towards us.
Yes, but what position in front of her? Like, in her face, or, like, a bit forward, or what?
A bit away from her so that she isn't, like, all of a sudden, poof, cloud of smoke.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. So, what's the range on that spell?
Let me just...
That might have answered my question for me.
There you go.
120 feet. Okay, so you can get it up high enough. Sure. So, it's technically supposed to be a sphere, but I'll let you sort of mold it a little bit to be arrow-like. So, you want to do that?
A spherical arrow.
Yeah, it's sort of rounded on the edges, but it looks enough like an arrow, so that way I'll let it happen. It's fun. So you're doing it?
Yep.
All right. In the air, an arrow pointing down. It looks relatively like an arrow, considering it's supposed to be a sphere, but he molds it enough so that way the general idea is there. And the giant goes, oh. And looks down. She doesn't look too pleased.
I slowly raise my hand and
yell out to the giant to halt right there.
Halt right there is what you're gonna say?
Yeah.
She goes, and she steps one foot back from the position she was, and she seems like she's getting into a defensive position.
I yell out, friend or foe of the fire giants.
And in giant, she is going to respond. What are you slowly doing? What are you slowly doing?
I slowly raise my head and go like... And then he interrupts like... Okay, then you are taking the word.
So she looks down and she says, of my husband, friend.
Did she speak giant?
Yes, in giant.
I yell out again, friend or foe of the fire giants.
We both can understand that.
In common, because I don't speak giant.
Same here.
You don't speak giant?
No, I yell out in common, friend or foe of the fire giants again.
Yeah, I speak common, draconic, and Sylvan.
I thought you were speaking in giant.
No, I speak common and dwarvish.
Oh, okay. So I thought you knew giant for some reason.
No.
So I misunderstood. She looks down and says, husband, there.
Are you taking him away from this land?
I don't think she means that. I think she means that she's friendly.
Or are you moving into this land?
Come back to husband. Move.
I think she wants us to move away, but
we need you to move. You need to go back to where you came from, and we'll send your husband to you.
Are you saying that in common?
Yeah.
let me try. Let me try, please.
She looks a little bit confused at you. It seems like she doesn't fully understand every word that you're saying.
So I'm at least going to try.
Do you know giant?
No, I know these 4 languages: Common, Draconic, Dwarvish, and Sylvan.
Dwarvish is pretty close to giant, so I try to speak Dwarvish instead, and I repeat everything I said.
Okay. She says in broken Dwarvish, because it's relatively similar, so you can catch every second word or so, but you get the meaning basically.
Yeah.
My husband's up there. You are impeding my progress. Move.
Yes, but we really want to move, but there's just a problem. We need to talk with you, your husband, and your family to remove this problem, so to say. The problem, sadly enough, being with you and the people of the town.
She seems very annoyed, and she says, "If you won't move, I'll move you." And she starts reaching down towards you.
You can try, I yell out in Dwarvish.
I'm like, oh, I will step out of the way.
All right, you're sort of like, whoa, and that's where we'll end at that point.
Yeah, I'm just trying to be careful.
So imagine like an episode of a TV show where one guy is like, ah, and the other guy's like, ah, and it freeze frames. And
yeah, like, no!
Alright, so I'll end the stream.